What the best superhero games of all time reminds me of?
The sports?
Yeah, how did you know? That's amazing. That's amazing.
This guy's unbelievable.
How did you?
I know.
You got ESPN.
You
brother.
read my mind.
I'm telling you, man. My head hurts now. Get out of there.
Well, congratulations to you, Trent. You're a clairvoyant, and I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You're okay at the segues. I mean,
Oh,
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I just
you're
said
okay. You're not great.
yeah.
But
You're all right,
okay.
man. Don't worry about it.
I was feeling good about myself for 1 second there.
Yeah. Yo, get off the floor, kid.
It's now, yeah, I was up there, now I'm down there. But anyway.
Yep.
And that's
Your ass just fell.
and
So-
honestly, yeah, that's how it feel. I feel down lately as a sports fan. I feel down.
You're not.
Well, that's ironic. Okay. So
Wow.
now it's time to talk a little Rays baseball. I might as well. We let off with the Yankees last week, so I said might as well let's go Tampa Bay. Let's go ahead and talk about them.
Yeah, baby.
Tampa Bay. Yeah, they're not doing so well right now. They've lost pretty much every series except for this past series against Toronto. They didn't lose it, but they didn't win it either. They split it because it was a 2-game set at Tropicana Field, the best ballpark in Major League Baseball. But anyway, since the All-Star break, man, the Rays have been they haven't been able to win games. They lost to the Kansas City Royals. They fell to the
So hit
Baltimore.
the Yankees.
Well, they lost one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fell to the Baltimore Orioles as well in a 4-game set. And, of course, they came home and lost 2 out of 3 to the Cleveland, I got to be careful, Guardians.
Thank you, Trent.
The Cleveland Guardians, because I've almost slipped up and called them the Indians, and they're not the Indians anymore. So that's why I said that.
Well, you get a break. It's only the first year with the new name. So, but next year, if you get it wrong, we will execute you. Yeah. This year, it's okay though.
Where do you live?
We will find you, Trent.
I will be found. Uh-oh.
Yes.
That is not good. And then, of course, they split the series with the Toronto Blue Jays. Real quickly, I'm going to touch on the trade deadline. This moves that the Rays made didn't make. And breaking news, they didn't get Juan Soto. The Yankees didn't get Juan Soto either. The San Diego Padres did.
I thought for sure the Rays were going to get him, though. I thought for sure that he immediately would have been making more than the whole team.
Come on, man. Benintendi's 1 in 19.
He's walked a lot, though.
He's 1 in 19.
Hopefully Rich gets his walking papers soon. That'll be. But anyway, the Rays ended up participating in some moves on the trade deadline. They traded one Brett Phillips, and Brett Phillips is a fan favorite. Real cool, feel good story about him. Chloe, I can't think of her last name. She was battling cancer there for a while back, and she still is. And earlier this season, Brett Phillips made her day because Phillips spent some time with her before the game, met her and her family. And Brett Phillips told her before a home game, said, Chloe, I'm going to hit a home run tonight. And boy, he just and the ironic thing was Brett Phillips was at the plate. She was being interviewed on live TV. He hits a home run. And while she's being interviewed, that's one of the most memorable moments of Brett Phillips' tenure in Tampa Bay is what he's done and what he will continue to do for that young lady who is unfortunately battling cancer, which is a tough thing. So that's a feel-good human interest story for Brett Phillips. That's he will always have a special place in my heart because of what he did.
Thumbs up to my man.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
It kind of reminds
me. Thumbs up.
It kind of reminds me of like Babe Ruth visiting the Children's Hospital and promising home runs and all that.
When
Lou Gehrig.
O'Neill goes in Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Kramer told him, I'm going to make him hit you 3 home runs.
So they designated Phillips for assignment on Monday. Then he found out on Tuesday that he got traded to the Baltimore Orioles. So that's ironic. I was telling somebody earlier today, because Phillips is a Baltimore Oriole now, he couldn't square up a ball whenever he's with Tampa Bay. But I guarantee you, when Baltimore comes to town, on the 13th of this month, or on the 12th or whatever day that is. Yeah, the 12th, 13th, and 14th. They come to Tropicana Field for a weekend series. I might try to go catch one of those games. By the way,
he's gonna lay the wood on them, man.
Yeah, I might try to do that. Next thing you know, Phillips could have a large homecoming. It's our luck because every guy that the Rays trades, it seems like, does very well, except, with the exception of Evan Longoria. It seems like he's always hurt. But anyway, so Phillips got traded. The Rays did acquire David Peralta from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Apparently, he's played some different positions in the field. He's done well. They also acquired Cody Clevenger, I think, from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jose Siri from the Houston Astros. They acquired him, a center fielder that can go get the ball defensively. Offensively, he hasn't been doing very well as of late, but he has a tendency. He's hitting the ball in AAA, but hitting the ball in AAA is vastly different than hitting major league pitching. So that's you can't. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Oh, he's hitting well in the minor leagues. Don't give me all that, because the game is different in minor league baseball. So that's what the Rays ended up doing as far as the trade deadline is concerned. And look, they're 3 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays. They were 3 games behind them when Toronto entered town, so they didn't lose any ground. However, they didn't gain any ground against Toronto. Toronto's got the number 1 overall wild card spot, but the Rays have got some teams on their heels. The Guardians are less than 2 games back. Baltimore is 2 games back. It's hard to believe we're still talking about Baltimore in the wild card system, in the wild card spot.
Seattle,
but,
you guys better watch Seattle too.
Oh, yeah, Seattle. Look, Tampa Bay, if they continue to get some guys back, it looks like they'll get Francisco Mejia off the injured list on Friday, one of their catchers that has got some pop in their bat. And if they beat teams and start winning some of these series, they're going to be fine. I mean, they're playing Detroit. You would think Detroit should be an easy team to beat. Not so much. So they're playing a 4-gamer at Comerica Park this weekend. Before going to Milwaukee, and they got swept by Milwaukee earlier in the season at the Trop. So it's toward the end of June, as a matter of fact. So the Rays have to win series if they want to continue to push for that number 1 overall wild card spot, or if they just want to get in the playoffs. They have to keep winning series. If they don't, teams are going to jump over them. They're going to get further and further out the playoff picture, and they're not going to make the playoffs for the first time since 2018, I think. No. 2018, I believe.
Wow.
So, but anyway, that's what's going on with the Rays.
Yeah, and the Orioles, they were on that 10-game winning streak, and they made a couple of surprising moves. Mancini out of there,
Mancini's gone.
I think they got rid of their closer as well.
Yeah,
so, so odd that the Orioles.
So did San Diego got rid of their closer.
San Diego got rid of their closer?
Yeah.
But they didn't they bring back, what's his name, Hader, Josh, didn't they bring in another closer?
I don't know.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I know San Diego, they brought in a big-time reliever, and obviously they brought in Juan Soto. So they're going for it big time. They got a stacked lineup over there.
Yeah, they got the first baseman also from Washington.
All I got to say to the Los Angeles Dodgers, I got 2 words for them: look out.
And, the Dodgers, or even, you got to put the Mets in that conversation, as they've had a huge year. 30 games over 500. They got their 2 big pitchers back now with Scherzer and DeGrom. We'll see if DeGrom can stay healthy for the stretch run. But you get to the playoffs, and the Mets clearly have the best front end of the rotation of anybody in baseball. Nobody can really compete with it's definitely not the Yankees after seeing Cole today. I mean, Scherzer goes out there. He does what a guy making $40 million a year is supposed to do. You go out there and you dominate. Garrett Cole with his $300 million.
Syndergaard was out there too. How come the Yankees didn't pick him up?
Because Syndergaard stinks.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to go anywhere near that guy.
Now you know, man.
But
he's going to the Rays, right?
Yeah, the Rays could use him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Some surprising moves there with the Orioles. San Diego is stacked. We'll see if they can challenge the Mets, and of course Seattle making their run. They get Castillo from the Reds. That was a big move. We saw him do what he's supposed to do against the Yankees today, and we saw Garrett Cole, Mr. $300 million, give up 6 runs in the first inning, and he just has too many starts like that where he gives you nothing.
The
man.
guy's he's lost in the sauce out there.
Yeah, he'll have a bunch of good starts, but then like to start early, you remember them against out there in Minnesota. gives up back-to-back-to-back home runs to start the game.
Yeah, but lately, since last year, he's been giving up a lot of home runs.
I mean, you look at the numbers. He's having a pretty good year. Still has an ERA in the threes.
Not when I see him.
But when he, the game the Yankees lost to Tampa that I went to this year, he pitched a great game. I wish he would have went deeper in the game, but was 1 run, 6 innings. The bullpen blew that game, and they couldn't get a big hit in a big spot. But Cole has too many of these games where early he has nothing. It happened in the playoffs against the Red Sox last year, where he got smacked around first couple of innings, and it happened today where the guy, he's throwing batting practice up there. 6 runs in the first. It was just awful. And he pitches into the 6th. Like, what does that mean? Who cares? You gave up 6 runs already. Okay, you're giving the team innings. You don't want to destroy your bullpen, but we needed you in the first inning.
Guy had 3 home runs.
So in the first inning, it was and like I said, it's batting practice, hanging sliders, fastballs right down the middle. What's going on, and then he's looking in the dugout.
I hope he's not another Sonny Gray, man.
Well, he's lasted longer than Sonny Gray. He's already had a better Yankee career than Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray was a complete zero, but then again, Sonny Gray wasn't making $300 million. So Cole is on a whole other level. You're paying him like he is a Scherzer. You're paying him like he is a Kershaw, from 7 years ago. You're paying him like he's one of the big pitchers in baseball, yet too often he's very hittable early in games. He just doesn't come out ready, and it's very frustrating to watch. Just like this team has been frustrating to watch over the past month. As good as they were, just unstoppable in June, they played sub-500 baseball in July and had a rough start to the second half of the season. Of course, you lose you get swept in the doubleheader against Houston in Houston. You get swept by the Mets in a 2-game series where Scherzer dominated you, struck out Judge a bunch of times. The team looks terrible. And then you get an opponent, and then you make, very George-like situation where the Yankees get swept by the Mets at Citi Field. Look, do I consider a 2-game series really a sweep? No, to me, you got to have at least 3 games, but still, technically, it's a sweep. So you lose the 2 games, and like literally 20 minutes after they lose that second game, they make the announcement that the trade for Benintendi is done.
And then, are you kidding me, man?
And they go out, okay, you take 3 out of 4 against the terrible Kansas City Royals, but then you lose that last game where you had a 2-run lead in the 9th inning, and Clay Holmes spits the bit.
Oh my God.
Just and this is the guy. He's only had 3 blown saves, but last couple have been awful, and they're against terrible teams. He blew the game. He blew a 3-run lead in the 9th against the Cincinnati Reds. They're a terrible team. Blew a 3-run lead there, and then just blew a 2-run lead against the Kansas City Royals in the 9th. And that was one of the guys at least left in the bullpen that you want to feel good about. Now you're not so sure. You're like,
I have odds at us since yesterday.
So those sinkers aren't sinking.
I can't eat. I can't sleep.
So, and then this year you're not used to seeing the Yankees lose series, and you're definitely not used to seeing them lose series at home. They get a quality opponent in the Seattle Mariners. Trent just mentioned they're right there for the wild card, and they come in, take 2 out of 3 against the Yankees and destroy Garrett Cole. So that wasn't fun to watch.
I think we should wait until about the 2nd or 3rd week of August.
Now, all that being said, what they say in baseball is true. You're not as good as you look when you're going well, and you're not as bad as you look when you're going bad. So the reality, the truth, is somewhere in the middle there. So you have to look at this team and say they were hot for a couple of months, and now they're paying for it. Things are balancing out. You expected that there was going to be a lull, the dog days of summer, the whole thing. So you got to look at this team and evaluate what they did at the trade deadline.
Okay. You sit there for 4 hours, they're leading by 6, and they lose by 10. Are you kidding me?
What game was that?
I don't know, man. I know they were losing by a lot. I can't watch this shit no more.
But you get to the trade deadline, and a team that's put themselves in a great position, first team to 70 wins this season. What did they do at the trade deadline? And they pretty much did everything you wanted to see them do, short of bringing Juan Soto in. So, either and they did try, but either the Nationals don't believe in Volpe, the Yankees' big shortstop prospect, as much as the Yankees do, and San Diego was better able to put together a better package of prospects, or Yankees didn't put out a offer.
They have to pay Judge.
So who knows? So we'll see there. But what did they do? And they went out and they got the guy that everybody was talking about all year, Andrew Benintendi, left-hander, makes contact, puts the bat on the ball. It was hitting 320 when he got here. He's hitting 311 on a bit of a slide.
I think it was 309 or 308.
So that average continues to drop since he's been a Yankee. But you watch him, you can see that he's pressing right now. You hope that in a couple of weeks he's going to be able to settle down and get into a groove. And he is walking a lot and scoring runs.
I hope he's not a little Gallo.
No, he's not going to be Gallo. I'll get to Gallo. But so you got Benintendi. That was the first move. That was the big move. That got all us Yankee fans to stop dwelling on the fact that you just lost 2 games to the Mets. Now we can think about Benintendi and the fact that Joey Gallo's days as a Yankee are numbered. What else did they do? Hey, they didn't get Castillo, but they got the next best thing on the market, a guy we haven't seen yet in Frankie Montas from the Athletics, from the A's, one of the best pitchers in the American League this year. Seemingly to back up Garrett Cole, but maybe Cole will be backing him up the way he pitches sometimes.
God.
We'll see who gets. You assume that the Yankees are going to be able to set it up, get the bye.
Didn't Sonny Gray come from Oakland?
He did come from Oakland.
Holy shit. More odds that are coming.
So we'll see. We'll see what. Hopefully, he doesn't turn out to be another Sonny Gray. And as a New York fan, that is a big part of the equation. You always. Can this dude perform in New York? Because it's different in New York. For instance, not as a diss, but in Tampa, maybe you'll have a handful of reporters there at the end of the game. In New York, it's a room full. I mean, and people asking the same question over. It's just a different environment.
I think Gallo would have did good in Tampa.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why the Yankees were actually able to trade Joey Gallo for a breathing human being. I thought, maybe a bag of balls, or just take them.
Yeah, but he's still not playing until September.
But they're able to trade Joey Gallo of all teams. Where did he go? To the Dodgers.
Unbelievable.
Which is unbelievable.
He'll hit the winning home run against the Yankees in the World Series. Imagine that.
Well, if the Yankees are in the World Series, I'll be pretty happy. We'll see. I'm not convinced of that yet. We'll see how this team hits the stretch and
I'm giving it 2 weeks.
How they're playing. But yeah, Joey Gallo is was not necessarily an all-star player, but he was a dude in Texas that you can pencil in for 40 home runs. Okay, he's going to hit 215, but he's going to hit 40 home runs. He's going to strike out a lot, but he's going to hit the long ball. Statistically, and this isn't a joke, statistically, you can make the argument that Joey Gallo is the worst position player in Yankee history. I mean, the guy was hitting 165. It was an embarrassment. Struck out, and he admitted leaving that the fans and the boos got to him.
Yeah.
Wah, you didn't perform. You're going to get booed. You're in New York.
Defense was good. Come on, I throw a little bit in there.
But Joey Gallo was historically bad with the Yankees. So yeah, and that's what. But to me, it makes no sense because, like you said, maybe a team like Tampa brings him in, or Cleveland, one of these smaller markets. He goes from the Yankees to the Dodgers. Like that there's no pressure relief there.
There's no pressure, baby.
You're going to another place where the media is going to be all over you.
He's going to hit the home run in the bottom of the ninth against the Yankees.
I would love to see him up against the Yankees in the World Series in a big spot. High fastball, strike out.
That's right, strike out.
Bye-bye. Back to the bench.
But
again.
not Coles, bro, please.
Cole's going to be pitching game 1, man. He's got a lot of demons.
Coles is frozen right now.
He sometimes he comes out in that first inning, and for a $300 million guy, he throws some BP, and it is tough to watch, and that's what we saw against Seattle in a rubber game matchup, a game where you expect him to come out and be that ace, and he basically Joey Gallo'd it from a pitching perspective. In that final game against Seattle. But we don't want to dwell on that. Yankees made a lot of moves. They get Scott Efros from the Cubs. He was one of the top relievers in the National League so far this year.
Thank God, finally.
That's
somebody.
a huge signing for the Yankees. He has a 2.66 ERA this year in 44 innings. He's done well. They also were able to get, you mentioned it as well. Now, this was the surprising trade for the Yankees at the trade deadline. They have some starting pitching depth, but we've seen a lot of those pitchers not pitch so well here. And a lot of people shocked that the Yankees trade Jordan Montgomery.
But you didn't like that guy anyway.
You know, he had a sub-4 ERA, but I got to tell you, over the years, and Trent will like this, but there's one game that sticks out in my head. But
boy, here we go.
Over the years, Montgomery, like, oh, okay, he's solid. He gives you innings. But then a big game will come around, and he'll just get smacked. Anytime there was a big game,
he laid an egg.
And he was on the mound, you
was
knew
laying eggs.
He doesn't have big game stuff. Like, he has good Tuesday night against the Oakland A's stuff. You know, okay, he's going to give you 6 innings, give up 3 runs on a Tuesday. But, the lights are shining bright. He's going to get smacked around. And one game, and there have been a couple like that this year. He's been bad lately, but I don't think it was last year. It may have been 2 years ago, Trent. You might remember this, but the Yankees were having this war with the Rays. Everybody was throwing the ball at each other.
Yes, okay.
Right?
Oh yeah, that was during COVID, I believe. Yeah.
Yankees throwing the balls at the Rays. Rays were throwing the balls at the Yankees. The Rays were crying. The Yankees were. Everybody was bitching and complaining. Anyway. All that happened. I think it may have been a Saturday game. There was a lot of throwing at each other. On Sunday, Montgomery's on the mound for the last game and they smacked him around I think it was like 7-0 in the third inning.
They were smacking him like a bad habit, right?
And that was one of those games, division rival.
Right.
Teams are throwing at each other. It's heated. You're like, all right, buckle up, let's go. Get out there, show some cojones.
Yeah, that's right. Show them marbles, man.
And he goes out there and and you see Montgomery do that over. So I have, to me, you see the national news. Oh, it's shocking that the Yankees would give up some of their pitching depth. But first of all, Yankees look at Montgomery. They get to the. He's not starting a game in the postseason.
They said that he's not going to start no game.
He's not going to start the game in the postseason. I'd be shocked if Tyone starts in the postseason. That dude's another home run machine, But okay, I don't love Montgomery. They make the trade and they bring in a guy who a lot of people consider to be one of the best center fielders defensively in the game, in Harrison Bader.
Yes.
Now. Of course, he's got plantar fasciitis. He's in a walking boot right now. Yeah. But that's how much they thought of Montgomery. All right.
Matt Carpenter says he's a good guy.
Well, Carpenter played with him. In St. Louis.
Yeah.
So, and this will give the Yankees a chance. You just saw Stanton go down with the injury. He's played a lot of right field this year.
Right.
So when he comes back, I think maybe at this point of the season, Stanton's time in the outfield is done. He's going to come back and be exclusive DH, and you'll have Bader and center field, and that'll allow Judge to stay in right field.
Right, and then Donaldson would be sitting then.
And then you get Hicks out of the lineup, because then you're going to have a lineup with a new guy in center. You have Judge in right, Benintendi in left. You get Hicks out of the lineup, who's a walking out, automatic out, right?
Walking disaster.
So then you wonder, who's the other guy who's kind of an automatic out in this lineup right now, has been the entire season, is Donaldson.
Donaldson, yeah, he's got to sit down.
So, but I don't know what you do. It seems like he's kind of penciled in there, because what are you going to do? I guess you're going to have LeMahieu at third, because you could. Donaldson will be the odd man out. You get LeMahieu at third, IKF at short. Then you have Gleyber at second.
Torres is a little suspect lately.
Well, Torres, the good thing about him is he gets big hits. He does. He leads the team in walk-offs the past 5 seasons. But, yeah, sometimes he has bad at-bats in big spots, for sure. But you can see a scenario where Donaldson, who's been a huge disappointment this year. I mean, I think he has 6 home runs on the season. He's hitting .215.
6 or 9?
Is it 9?
Something like that.
So He's been awful this year. So if there's a guy in the infield that'll be out, you think in the postseason, it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be LeMahieu at third, IKF short, Torres at second, and of course Rizzo at first. Now all of a sudden, and that's the thing where if you're a Yankee fan, you know, all right, lose 2 out of 3 to this team, you blow a game against Kansas City. For the most part, the team that you're watching right now is not the team that's going to be on the field in October for these huge games. You know,
but some of these guys, they get a little chance, go up there and show something.
Definitely. You want to see that. That's what this time is for, August and September. But I think just looking at the trade deadline and considering that the team that plays in the postseason is going to be much different than the team you're watching now because of what the Yankees did at the trade deadline, I think you got to feel good about them. You really do. So
I hope so.
I give them an A, at least an A, for what they did at the trade deadline.
Oh, okay, that's an A.
Oh yeah, okay,
that
sounds good. Now we got we spent a lot of time on the Yankees.
I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say.
I know. All right, let's keep this moving here. So we've got other
Tom Brady's birthday. Oh, sorry.
Tom Brady's birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
I must pay a little tribute to one Vin Scully. We did lose him.
Oh yeah.
Last night, Vin Scully passed away at the age of 94. And hey, what a great broadcaster too. He lived a great life. But what an extraordinary broadcaster. Some broadcasters stand out like Sterling with the Yankees, even though I'm not a Yankee fan. I do like John Sterling as a broadcaster.
Dwayne Stats with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, Scully got what did he get?
I do like Dwayne
3
Stats.
perfect games.
Oh, yeah. He called Larson in the World Series.
56, and they said, what was he, 30 years old?
I don't know. Well, the great thing is,
years old, I think it was.
We have you here, and you actually heard his first game on the radio.
Oh, watch it, folks.
Shit.
You were a fan since day one.
Oh, my God. Somebody get my hub around, please.
No, yeah. He's been a part of so many huge. Obviously, he called the 1 year that the Brooklyn Dodgers won in 55.
Right. In 55. He called the games, I believe. Did he call the Yankee games in 76 and 78?
I don't know that. You can tell me that. But he's an icon. I would say, and was the longest standing broadcaster with one
67
team.
years.
So many cool things to say about. And the thing for me as a baseball fan with Vin Scully, and I've had a chance over the years, as all baseball fans, to hear a couple of games that Vin Scully called, is it's such a throwback to hear him call a game because he does it by himself.
Yeah.
And
no partners.
To do a baseball game by yourself where there are so many breaks in the action.
67 years.
And he does it on the radio, too. I mean, TV, you can kind of compliment what you see. You don't have to say everything and anything and everything. On the radio, you have to say everything. You got to kind of talk about how it smells. You have to talk about how what the atmosphere in the ballpark is, where the alignment. You really have to describe the alignment in great detail. And Scully did all that, man. He did it really well. He was also known for calling some NFL games too. He called some games back in the 60s. I think he called a few playoff games as well. So I mean. I couldn't let this sports segment go by saying Vin Scully's legacy will always live on.
Live on, brother.
Oh, yeah, one of the greats of all time. I did want to do this real quick, Trent, before you have anything else on sports?
No, just it's close to the couch report, so we got to get to that.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Before we do that, there's this cool list. ESPN, they asked 50 experts, reporters, and analysts to name the NFL's greatest player of all time at every position. So I'm going to give you a couple of these and see if you agree with it or not. Okay. We won't go through every position, but obviously let's start at quarterback. All right. Okay. So their greatest quarterback of all time, yes, Trent is the birthday boy, TB12, Tom Brady.
Oh, how about that?
The best quarterback of all time. I'll go to you first, Super Radio Father. Do you agree with that assessment?
Nah, man.
That's right. Well, you got to give me someone then. If you don't think it's Tom Brady, who's the greatest quarterback you've ever seen in your life?
I ever seen in my life?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had.
You never saw a quarterback? Well, it doesn't have to be a giant.
No, it doesn't have to be a giant.
Anybody you've ever seen.
When I was growing up, it was Roman Gabriel.
Roman Gabriel.
Imagine that. Or Joe Cap.
Joe Cat.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this? 1870?
Well, no, it's late 60s.
Okay.
You know, he wore one ball like the kickers.
Yeah. So Roman Gabriel was a better quarterback than Tom Brady?
No.
What are you telling me then?
Let
Let me help you out. How about Joe Montana?
Yeah.
Was he better than Tom Brady? All right, how about this? Let me throw another one in there for you, someone you probably saw. Terry Bradshaw.
I think Terry Bradshaw was the man, and I think Montana was something else.
Were they better than Tom Brady
I think so for their time.
for their time?
Yeah.
That's just what we get into, comparing errors.
My wife fell in love with Joe Montana when he was playing with Notre Dame.
Mm.
And they were wearing the only green uniforms ever. They had that day.
Oh, yeah, I've seen the footage of
Yeah.
that game. Yeah.
And they came back like from 20-something points down.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife says, I love that guy. He went to San Francisco. You know, Mommy was a San Francisco fan all the time. So every time San Francisco played the Giants, we didn't talk for a couple of days.
Well, how about you, Trent? Do you agree with that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time?
I'm not just saying this because I am a Tampa Bay fan. I'm saying it because, he really is. He's shown that he can, he's done a lot of historic things with the Patriots. Most recent coming back 28, coming back from being down 28-3, led that team back when they looked like they were doomed by the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, they tied the game, and then the Patriots won it in overtime. That's just one of many, 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 many things that he's done. Just to see what he's able to still do at the age of now 45. I mean, having a good offensive line is a reason why he's been able to do what he does. But look, he's 45 years old. He's still got versatility.
That's
right. I do agree. I think Tom Brady is the best at the position.
I think he's good, the greatest.
I would have to say, when I look at just my time, my era, who are the greatest quarterbacks I ever saw? I saw kind of the end of Joe Montana, and what he has going for him is he was undefeated in the Super Bowl. Kind of like, and that's nothing, to me, you can't penalize Brady for losing Super Bowls because he went to so many. So, when you consider Joe, he went to 4 and he won all 4, but still, does it make Brady less than Montana because he actually lost a couple? I really don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Because a lot of people will use that argument. Like you look at Jordan, he was 6-0 in the finals, and that's a big part of the mystique there. But Montana was great from what I saw. Great quarterbacks from my time. Who do I think about? I think of Steve Young as well, coming right in after Montana. Young was amazing, but there were better guys than him. I think Elway was an incredible guy from my time. Warren Moon.
Elway, I think, was a magician on the field.
Yeah, Elway was a great player, man. He's one of the greats of all time. Marino is another guy.
Oh, Dan Marino. The slickster.
The spike game, he never won a Super Bowl as well, so it's hard to even think about putting him on the level of a Tom Brady. But talent-wise, as a quarterback, definitely one of the greats of all time. But from my era, I guess you kind of look at John Elway, then you go up through the years. Peyton Manning enters the conversation as well as a regular
Peyton
season
Manning
performer.
was another slickster out there.
He
but Tom Brady was picked, 272 or 232 or something?
Yeah, he was like the 6th round or something like that. So, but the only guy I can think of, like I said, from my era that you could even come close, putting him near that level, is John Elway. And Elway had trouble in the big game too. And when he did win a Super Bowl, he's kind of like Peyton Manning, where it was because he had Terrell Davis, and they had that big time running game, and he was at the end, and he finally won. Peyton Manning had won, but obviously when he won with Denver, he wasn't the reason they won. It was defense. So as much as it pains me to say, I guess I have to agree.
You have to, brother.
Nobody's better than Tom Brady. All right, let's look at running back. They have the number 1 running back of all time as Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, if you saw any of
Jim
his
Brown.
Game, that's right, man. You ever seen that guy?
Yeah.
He'll run you over.
Yeah. He was a power runner.
Oh, power runner, knocking everybody down. And
I agree. Jim Brown is a great example too.
I
That's for
remember one time the interview, they asked him, who's the hardest hitter that ever hit you? And he says it was Dick Butkus. Okay.
Did you just say that so you can say Dick Butkus on the air?
Hey, look him up. Dick Butkus was awesome.
The
man.
greatest name of all time. Hello, sir, Mr. Butkus. Is that Dick? Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, I never saw Jim Brown play, so I've seen some of the highlights. From my time, and it's in modern football, the running back position has really been marginalized.
Yeah.
You know, teams won't even, unless you're the Giants, like a bunch of idiots drafting Saquon Barkley
please.
with the second pick.
I remember seeing Gale Sayers.
Mm.
You know, he was always hurt, but that dude can run, man.
Yeah, and you know, the running back was the biggest position at that time. Like I said, modern football, the position's been marginalized. But I look at a guy from the most incredible guy I ever saw was Barry Sanders. And he was always on a terrible Detroit Lions team.
That
but
dude stop on a dime and the defense goes right by him.
to this day, and the only guy maybe that I can somewhat compare him to isn't even a running back, because I don't think a guy with that much talent would play running back anymore. Honestly, I don't think Barry Sanders would be a running back in today's NFL. He would be a slot receiver because that's where the money is. The only guy I can compare to Barry Sanders is Tyreek Hill, a guy where if he gets the ball in space, he's so fast and so
Emmitt
good.
Smith was
You're not
something
getting
else.
him.
Emmitt
Emmitt Smith was a great running back. Yeah.
Okay. What's his other guy's name? Earl Campbell was a tank.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We saw one game with him. He ran 2 touchdowns, 93 yards or something each. And the Houston Oilers would say, "We are the Houston Oilers."
The Houston Oilers. Remember that? Now they're the Texans, right?
Yeah,
Houston
now they're
Texans.
the Texans. Yeah, man. So, yeah. You got to see some games on Sunday.
Yeah. You didn't get the NFL ticket.
No,
and see
it was no
everybody play.
NFL ticket. The TVs are blurry, man. You know, no HD. And then the famous Heidi game, huh?
Oh, well, you're going way back with the Jets and everything.
Okay.
How about tight end? They have Rob Gronkowski as the greatest tight end of all time. You agree with that, Trent? The greatest tight end of all time.
Yep.
There's a lot of Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mark Barbaro.
I knew you were going to bring up Bavaro. Yeah. Travis Kelce is not too shabby.
No, he's not too shabby.
Especially in today's NFL passing game. Kelce would be one of those guys, but Bavaro was just so old school. You think about him in the block, big guy, the tape around the fingers.
Yeah, and he's running, and the guys are hanging off the tape. And oh, my God, that guy just hit anybody.
How about this, Trent? The greatest wide receiver of all time, they have as Jerry Rice. Of course, he caught passes from Joe Montana, Steve Young, guys we brought up earlier. How about you, Trent? Who's the greatest receiver of all time to you?
To me, the greatest receiver of all time, that's tough because there are so many other ones. There's so many great receivers in the league with whether it be, crap. I just
Tom Brady.
Amani Toomer.
Amani Toomer. Keyshawn Johnson,
Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah, definitely Keyshawn Johnson's definitely good. Also, another guy that kind of stays out these days is God. What's his name? I can't think of his name now.
No.
I'm having a
Julio
brain
Jones, your new friend.
Is it Renfro from the Oakland Raiders?
No. Are you thinking about now? I'm drawing on the Rams.
I'm talking about a guy from the Sixers.
Cooper Kupp. Yes,
Kupp.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Cooper Kupp's got to be the greatest of all time here.
Well, because he beat your team.
Oh.
He did have an amazing season last year. He had one of the great seasons any receiver has had of all time. And then on top of that, to catch that big pass against the Buccaneers, at the end of the game. And he had a couple huge catches in the Super Bowl. He caught the game-winning touchdown, didn't he? At the end there.
Did.
So, I mean, I think he's already, just thinking about it, that you're right there, Trent. I think he's, you can already say he's one of the greatest of all times after last season. But you do like to see him do it a little more.
Randy Moss was not bad.
See, you stole my thunder there because to me, just going through my time again, the greatest receiver I ever saw was Randy Moss because he changed the game. You know, you went into a game against it. You weren't thinking about Dante Culpepper or whoever the quarterback was throwing to Randy Moss. You were like, man, we got to throw two guys way back there. Because it seemed like all you had to do is throw the ball up, and he was catching
you guys
it.
had a good receiver. Wesley Walker.
Altoon.
Altoon. Wesley Walker was some player. He used to catch some balls.
Well, these guys, you know, they're not the greatest of all time, though.
No.
I've never seen a receiver.
I'm the greatest of all time.
There you go. That's I like to see that confidence. I like to see that. You are the greatest father, super radio father to perform on a podcast.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm moving my hair back. Thank you.
But I don't know. To me, I've never seen a receiver impact the entire league, the game of football, the way Randy Moss did when
yeah.
he was doing what he was